know this music, come on. Yeah, the Strictly Come Dancing quarterfinals, they're on this weekend. Very exciting. We're close to finding out who the winner of Strictly Come Dancing 2021 will be. Now, I'm sure we're all going to be glued to our TV screens, so we want to make sure that we got ourselves a good night's sleep last night so we can stay wide awake to watch the quarterfinals. Because there really is nothing worse than not getting a good night's sleep. Many of us have been suffering thanks to our partner's sleeping habits. Did you know that? However, it seems that the world of dance can actually help us with this, with Strictly judge Craig Revel Horwood devising some dance-inspired sleep positions for us to have a try at. And I'm delighted to say he joins us now. Craig, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, darling. I'm feeling fantastic. I got a good night's sleep last night and I'm up for it. There's so much on at the moment, which is brilliant. I'm not complaining because, the last 2 years have been a little bit iffy with work and stuff like that because of COVID. But it's sort of full on. It's wonderful that Panto is going ahead. It's fantastic that Strictly has been so amazing this year. And, building us up to the whole Christmas stuff. I've got a Christmas single coming out that I'm promoting as well, which is fantastic. And, of course, for Dreams, I'm doing their Sleep Like Love campaign, which I've absolutely loved because I was not a great sleeper. And it's really helped me.
Oh, I've got to ask, where on earth are you getting all of the time, Craig?
Well, I think it's just a matter of diary, a good functional diary, and making sure you don't overlap. I don't know, it's one of those things, isn't it? Everything it never rains but it pours, they say. And plus, I got COVID, of course, 2 weeks ago, so I couldn't do any of my work or anything. So it's been backing up. So it's a good time. And I think, just getting the right amount of sleep for me has really helped me. And because I was a bit of a snorer, I've got to be honest here. And it wasn't until I had my actual hip replacement that I even considered what my body was doing in bed, actually. And my doctor said that I really should be sleeping on my side and to have a pillow wedged between my knees to keep the hips in line. And ever since I did that, I stopped snoring and I got a more sound sleep, and felt so much better the next day. So when I was asked to do the campaign, Sleep Like Log, I was fascinated because I was working, of course, with a sleep expert, Sammy Margot, and we came up with her help, we came up with some choreographic solutions, to body positions in bed, and especially if you've got a partner who snores or a starfisher or someone that's breathing all over you or wants to spoon all night, you just won't get a good amount of sleep and enough to work and be great the next day.
No, you absolutely won't. And also, I mean, you mentioned it, obviously, you've had COVID recently. I mean, did that affect your... I had it myself, and it was a horrible time, and I really struggled to sleep during that period. I mean, how did you find that as well? Were you finding sleeping quite difficult during that?
Yeah, I really was. But then, thankfully, I'd been working on the campaign and I just put some of those small, things into place. Like I went into my rumba sleep, which is one arm up, over your head, which I found really good for that particular thing. Because you can't taste, you can't smell, you feel like you've got a bit of a cold, and it's uncomfortable. But it did help me, I've got to be honest, and getting sleep, it helps you get over it. So, I mean, it was really important, but also because I was stuck in my bedroom for literally 10 days, I tried to exercise. So I was busy painting the room, I was doing all sorts of things to keep myself busy during the day. And then, so I felt tired enough to sleep, because I think if you're stuck in one room, it's really, really difficult. So you've got to motivate yourself, do some sit-ups, do some push-ups, do some, form of physical activity, no matter how rough you feel. There's always something you can do to help, wear yourself out a little bit. So you did get a decent night's sleep, and that helps not only with your mental well-being, but your physical well-being as well. And it got me over COVID really, really quickly. I mean, I got my sense of taste back after 3 days thereabouts, and then I was testing negative on the lateral flows, which was great. So I was able to go back to work and start Panto, of course, rehearsals this week. So, and that's been quite a dilemma, with all the dancing I've got to do on the show, up against 18-year-old dancers. I feel like the grandfather doing the whole thing.
Oh, no.
But, oh, no, you don't. Oh, yes, you do. Yeah, so it's really good, and I'm feeling much, much better and cannot wait for this week's Strictly, which will be really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. It really will be. We'll get onto that in just a second. But as you've mentioned there, though, as well, it's just sleep is key. If you're going to have a busy schedule and particularly with work, I always find if I don't get a good night's sleep, the next day I'm useless. I'm not at all at the peak of my powers, or I'm much use at work. So it's so key. Otherwise, you're the next day it's completely ruined.
Yeah, and technology has not helped us in a way, because I think, your phone pinging from WhatsApp and all these notifications you get now with every single app, ping, 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 ping. You've got to remember to turn all of that off, because otherwise that's going in your ears, it's waking you up, and it's keeping your mind active. And what you've got to do, I think, is at least an hour before you want to actually fall asleep, you need to just wind down. Don't be watching the TV in bed. Don't have your phone in bed. If your partner's got the phone on in bed, tell them to turn it off, and put notifications on. Turn the notification center off, because I've noticed that my phone will just ping all overnight, because I have family in Australia, friends in New Zealand, when they forget what time it is. And of course, it's like 4 a.m, so it's like, no, I don't want to do that. So now I turn it off, and it has promoted my sleep and helped me get to sleep, because I'm like you, I cannot operate the next day. I would not have a clear head or be physically prepared to do the amount of work I've got to achieve during the day now.
Yeah, and as you say, you've got a very, very busy schedule. So back on the Strictly, the judging panel, obviously you were off with COVID, which was it must have been very strange not to have been on the judging panel that week. It must have been odd.
It was really bizarre, because for 17 years I've never missed a day's work ever on the show, and I've never actually sat at home live watching it, as a punter. And I found it extraordinary, and it did give me a new love for the show in that way, because when I'm at work, I'm a judge. I've got a judge's hat on, and I'm looking at it technically, and professionally. And then, so that takes some of the enjoyment out of it, because I'm working. But when I was at home, I noticed that I wasn't that bothered about the technical side of it. I was like getting into the stories, I was getting into the dance routines, and I was being entertained. And that's what I really, really loved about it, which gave me a whole new experience of it entirely, and a whole new look at it. Obviously, that doesn't sway me when I'm judging, because I go back to work and I put my judge's hat on again, obviously.
Of course.
So I'm really looking forward to it this year, though, to see who gets to the final, because I think it's very much going to be down to the audience. And I think this year's the first year that it's been so even with all the contestants, all the celebrities. It's not a year that I would like to have taken part if I was a celebrity, because there's so much competition. Yeah. It's not going to be an easy win for any of them, but I love AJ. I think she's amazing. I think John and Johannes are doing really, really well. I mean, they're just going from power to power. Rose, I'm adoring. I mean, there's so much to love about it. So I'm really, really lucky. Number one, I'm proud that I'm involved. And number two, I'm still there. And the fact that we're coming up to the final, which is really super exciting.
It is super exciting. Would you say this has been one of the strongest years, would you say?
Yeah. I sort of tend to want to say that every year, but never has it been so true. It really has, because I'm seriously looking forward to it, and I'm dying to know who the audience are going to make the winner, because obviously it's down to them. At the moment, they get 50% of the vote, but coming up, they have 100% of the vote. So the scores mean nothing on the final. So it's going to be fantastic and fascinating to see who they want as their winner.
Yeah, no, it really will be. I keep an eye on the show. I do watch it myself, but my mum is a huge fan. So I just want to say hi from my mum, by the way. She's a big fan of yours. So she's
what's
listening.
Her name?
My mum's name is Gwyn.
Gwen, darling, thank you for watching Strictly Come Dancing. Please keep it up. And don't forget to be fabulous.
She'll love that. She'll love that. So, obviously, you mentioned you're in Panto as well. It's an exciting time of year, of course, coming up to Christmas. Are you looking forward to being back up on the stage and in Pantomime again?
Yeah, I mean, it keeps me on the straight and narrow. And I don't eat as much over Christmas. I don't ever put weight on because I'm dancing and I'm singing and doing all of that. And plus, it's just a nice atmosphere. It's so lovely seeing people at the theatre enjoying themselves. And, going out over the Christmas period, I think, is an essential thing to do. It gets you out of the house. It's a fantastic thing. And we're in Southampton at the Mayflower Theatre. And I'm doing Cinderella, and I'm playing, of course, the wicked stepmother, and I love doing that. And Debbie McGee, of course, is there waving a magic wand as the fairy godmother, which is hilarious. And really great cast, fantastic company, amazing singers, amazing dancers. So always joyful. And we run until the 2nd of January, from the 10th of December. So we're there for 3 weeks solid, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, it will be. It's a fantastic city. I was down there for 3 years at university, and it's a fantastic theatre. So you'll have great fun, I'm sure. Craig, as always, it's been lovely to chat to you. If people want to find out a little bit more about this research, and if the people are looking to improve their sleep, just maybe one tip of advice. Maybe someone is listening right now and they are struggling with their sleep. What one bit of advice would you give to them?
I think talk to your partner. That's the most important thing. I mean, I think you've got to understand what's wrong with your sleeping pattern to change it. So I think that's the first thing you've got to do, is find out what's wrong, and then go onto the Dreams website, and have a look, and you'll find all the answers to your questions there.
Cool. Well, people can go there to go and find all the details and go and find out more about it and improve their sleep. Craig, it's been lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much, and all the best with the rest of Strictly, and best of luck with Panto.
Thank you so much.